All right, welcome everybody. Here we are today to do some restorative yoga, I think. Restorative yoga for allowing any kind of release that might need to happen and any kind of chronic tension or any kind of tension for that matter that could be stored in the body is invited to just relax and release. And we can, if you want to lie down for this part, you can, or just sit down. I'm going to get comfy. Yeah, all right then. That's a good idea. I'm going to lie down with you. Okay. So either lying down or sitting down in that comfy nest. Getting as comfortable as possible. You can close your eyes down. You don't need to be looking at the screen at this moment. Nice to just have a visual retreat. Drawing that visual cortex inwards, as it were. And as you know by now, probably, I like to do a lot of sighing. This is very nice for calming the body and the brain. If you could imagine that your eyes are an extension of your brain and they are connected to the brain, just imagine that the eyes could really open, not opening like the eyelids opening, but the muscles of the eyes opening. So whilst lowering the gaze or closing the eyes completely, you could just imagine all of those micro muscles in and around the eyes, relaxing, any tension there opening up. And we can hold a lot of chronic tension in and around the eyes and the forehead and the temples. So this is really invited to relax. Nothing to do, nowhere to go, nothing to be accomplishing, and no one to be being, just being. If you're lying down, then just choose a suitable place for the arms and the hands to be. You can rest them by the sides of the body. The hands can be turned upwards or they can be resting on the belly. Or you could do what I'm doing, which I didn't decide, it just happened, which is resting my arms over the head actually. And the hands can rest above the head. That's another option. Wherever you are, just resting in that pose. Whether the arms are up or down, you could invite the body to open. So when we are learning to relax tension and stress, tightness, aches, pains, and any trauma as well, you can imagine this like a safe opening. Opening and a trusting into safety, if that resonates at all. Allowing the breath to gently travel into the tissues. Just imagining breath could travel into all of the body, every muscle, every fiber, every ligament. And any tension that might be lingering in and around the neck, the shoulders, the back of the body. Invite it to rest deeply. Taking our time, soothing the body. No rush to do or go or be anything anywhere. So the nervous system is invited to really deeply relax here. If we ever find ourselves in high alert mode, we could just imagine that the scales of sympathetic are gently winding down into parasympathetic. Just imagine that that's how it goes. That we're turning the energy from engagement and alertness to rest and digest into a relatively restorative stillness, simply resting here. And any emotional energy that might seem to be lingering in tissues is invited to simply be as it is, really. But it might seem to soften along the way. Okay. So, you might enjoy just gently playing with rolling the head side to side, if that sounds nice for the back of the neck. Just a nice gentle massage for the back of the head as it rolls on the mat, and the back of the neck as it gently twists. Easy. Very slow, gentle movements, which are offering a somatic release. You might even hear little sounds of the follicles of hair on the back of the head engaging with the surface that supports it. A yawn is totally allowed here. Okay, maybe we can start to play with more movements now. So it feels nice for you. You can do whatever movements you like, by the way. This is always invitational. Yes, you're doing it before I even said it. Wow. You're going to rise the arms up if this feels nice. This is literally what I was going to suggest. And the arms are going to come overhead. Maybe the back of the hands rest over if you've got if you've got enough room for that. And maybe we can reverse that motion back. So it's a little bit challenging because obviously you're moving with and away from gravity. But whatever you're doing, just enjoy the slow, smooth sensations. This is a bit like the Tai Chi flow opening, actually, from a supine position. Lying on the back, flowing the arms up and down. Now here, if you want to, you can breathe in on the way up and out on the way down. But don't feel like you have to speed the arms moving up and down if the breath is slower than that. You might find a natural rhythm of breath with movement. It's nice to synchronize breath and movement together. If this is quite challenging or testing on the shoulders, you can always bend the elbows and make it much more subtle and refined. Easy, so easy. And after just maybe 2 or 3 more of these at your own pace, take as much time as you can. But after that third time, perhaps the arms stay over the head. No rush at all. Whenever you find a natural pause, eventually the hands are going to rest over the head. Okay. Nice. Shoulders relaxed here, but imagine that the fingers and the toes are gently stretching away from each other. So making a nice long pencil shape out of the body. We're going to breathe and reach those fingertips and toe tips away from each other. Like we're on a gentle stretch board. No pulling or forcing whatsoever. Just a gentle full body stretch. Elongate the spine, open the chest. Gentle inhale. On the next exhale, we're going to bring our right knee into the chest. Right knee first. We'll do the right knee for the sake of the digestive system. That's it. Shoulders still as relaxed as can be. Bringing that right knee in, interlacing the fingers over that knee or the shin. Shoulders relaxed. You can play with pointing the toes and flexing. Plantar flexion. That's when we point the toes away from the body. Dorsiflexion is when we point the toes towards the nose, just for the fun anatomical facts, information, and the term. Another fun fact is that when you flex the toes towards the nose, you're effectively lengthening the back of the legs, which is nice for the stretch on the calves and the hamstrings. And maybe we might like to bring that right knee down over to the left side, coming into a nice supine spinal twist. Don't push it. If it's too intense for the hips at this moment, you can rest a pillow underneath that knee. Don't have to bring it all the way down to the ground. This feels nice. You can rest that right knee towards or on the ground or on a pillow. And you can open the right arm up to the side and look over to your right side. So right knee comes down to the left. Head looks over to the right. Oh, it's a lovely, easy, supine twist. Feel the glutes and the hip and all of these muscles there on the lower regions of the torso, stretching gently. And if you want support as well, you can rest the left hand on the right knee or right leg. Okay. When we're ready, we can slowly come out of that twist. Gentle, gentle, gentle. Realign. Maybe we pull that knee in towards the chest one last time. And then perhaps we can extend from the right knee up towards the ceiling. I get a lovely long stretch on the back of the right leg before bringing it slowly down. Slowly. Pointing toes to nose on the way down. That's it. Lengthening that right leg out. I'm going to do the same on the left side. But before we do, let's float those arms up again. Arms overhead. Full body stretch. Fingers and toes gently stretching away from each other. Full body stretch, pencil shape. Then open chest, elongated spine, deep breath in. Exhale, left knee comes into the chest. We can interlace the fingers over that knee, that left knee. Lovely. If you want to, we can play with that same flexion and extension again. Or you could do circles with the ankles. Keep that going. Nice rotations of the ankles, or flexing and extending from dorsiflexion to plantar flexion. Nice. Okay, relaxed shoulders as can be. Perhaps bringing that left knee just a little bit closer to the abdomen, getting a nice stimulation in the descending colon. That's the That's the left side of the abdomen. So when we do right knee in first, left leg in second, we are stimulating the digestive system, helping things to move in the way they want to go. And then when we're ready, we can think about repeating that twist that we did on the other side. So if you did the same thing as me, we're going to bring the left knee down to the right. The left arm can relax out, depending on how much space we've got. And we can find ourselves looking over to the left side. Just going to get that spinal twist across the whole of the spinal cord. Again, you might find that the left knee doesn't want to go all the way down to the ground, depending on the anatomy of each body. This is totally fine. The last thing we want is to feel strained in any way. You might rest a pillow or a cushion underneath the left knee. That's a nice modification. Enjoy that gentle breath. Notice if any of the muscles or joints are tensing up here. If they are, there's a chance we're going too far. When we're ready, we can think about bringing that knee back to center. Just getting back into that nice alignment where both hips are evenly planted on the ground. Re-interlacing the fingers, if you like, over the knee or the shin. Okay, relaxed shoulders. And then we're going to extend that left leg up to the sky, extending from the knee. You can interlace the fingers behind the hamstrings, if you like, behind the left leg. I'm going to point the toes towards the nose, releasing the grip, the bind from the hands. And that left leg is going to come slowly down, keeping that lovely long extension. All right. Oh, okay. Maybe we can just take a pause and just notice how the spine feels, how the pelvis feels after doing that. If you want to widen the ankles apart or anything like that. Just checking in. You can always have a bit of a shake or a wiggle into different muscles or joints. All right. Somehow or other, I've decided to give myself a hug, wrapping the arms around the chest. So that's quite a nice segue from one stretch to another. Oh, that feels good actually. Nice for the shoulders. And wrap the arms around the chest. It's kind of countering, isn't it? We're countering the full body stretch. Inviting a gentle opening into the scapulae and the shoulder blades, trapezius. So what feels like could be quite nice after this is to full body stretch one more time and then bring both of the knees into the chest. If you're up for that, you can have a nice big full stretch. And again, whilst we're stretching here, we could play with flexing the toes towards the nose this time. See how that feels, if that's any different. Me, I think I can feel a noticeable change in the quality of sensation in the pelvis actually. And of course, lengthening the muscles on the back of the legs. And then we can think about bringing the knees in into the chest. You can cross the feet if you like, or just keep them parallel like train tracks. Almost every single time I do this, I do it without thinking at all about it. I go straight into circles with the knees. Just feels like that's what wants to happen. Notice if you're going clockwise or anti-clockwise. You can switch direction. You can play with different postures here. You can improvise and do different things if you're familiar with supine yoga and supine asanas. If there's something else you like to do, you might like to hug the shins, the lower legs, into the body. A bit of a rock side to side, or you could go into happy baby pose if you like. I think I'm going to. I didn't know this session was going to be supine, by the way. Surprise. You never know how the session's going to go. There's no plan whatsoever. It just happens. All right. Wherever you are, just enjoying whatever is going on. You can, of course, adopt these into a seated situation, if ever that feels what wants to happen. Trying different things. Okay, happy baby. A lovely posture. So if you're in happy baby, you can either take the outside edges of the feet, or you can take the big toes with the first two fingers and thumb. And you can try stretching one leg out and then the other. Relaxing those shoulders always. Always. Okay. Just playing with it, finding different postures that you want to do. No right or wrong answer. Just intuitively sensing what's going on. If you have got the knees into the chest still, you can try having a nice gentle squeeze of the hamstrings whilst the knees are bent. If you do it whilst the knees are straight, obviously the muscles are going to contract slightly, if not a lot. So when the knees are bent, they go all squidgy and fleshy, and you can have a good squeeze. You can massage both legs at the same time, or you can focus on one leg at a time with both hands. It's different ideas, different suggestions. It's all rather playful. Okay. You can try this with the calves as well, actually, if that's nice. You can kind of have a bit of a pinching into those lovely squidgy muscles, gastrocnemius. on the back of the lower legs. Really get the thumbs and the fingers in there. See if there's any lingering tension that could be soothed. Of course, engaging the tactile perception, which is nice for the nervous system too. Press the thumbs into the muscles as firmly as you like. Okay. And if you like, we can rest the feet on the ground, knees bent. So the arms can rest down by the sides, or they can rest out by the sides, or they could rest overhead here. And then maybe we can do some windshield wipers, dropping the knees to one side and then the other. And again, windshield wipers can either be one seamless flowing motion from left to right, or you could drop them one side and just stay there for several breaths. So if you're feeling like you want more stillness here, more simplicity, more spaciousness, perhaps you could just rest on one side. Or if you feel like you want more flow, more fluidity, you can just keep swishing like the windshield wipers do on the bus all day long, apparently. The windshield wipers on the bus go swish, swish, swish all day long. Oh, that feels so nice. All right, I'm going to invite us to do two last postures here before we relax together. So whenever you're ready, we can just bring the knees back up. The feet can walk a little bit closer to the hips. And then we're going to gently open the knees wide into a supine Baddha Konasana. Just be gentle here. You can again have this as a supported variation or modification rather, where the cushions can be placed under the knees on each side. Now, if you haven't got any grip on the mat or the floor, it's okay if the feet slide a bit away from the backside. And just allowing the knees to gently open, hips gently open. Again, arms can rest by the sides or you can rest overhead. You can massage the neck or the shoulders or wherever. Feel the breath, breathing effortlessly. And that nice gentle stretch, opening stretch into the hips. And then whenever you're ready, you can use the support of the hands to guide the knees back together. Knees can come back together. And then if you're up for it, we can counter that stretch by bringing the feet to about a yoga mat's width apart and drop the knees in together. So the knees are ideally touching Or you could have a pillow between the knees. That's another option. The feet are wider than the knees now. So this is the countering of the supine cobbler's pose. And just notice where the hands want to be. No right or wrong answer. And for as long as you enjoy this posture, you can stay here. And whenever you're ready and wanting for it, you can move into a version of your choice of Shavasana, resting pose. So you can find a comfortable lying down posture whenever you want to, whenever you're ready. You don't have to sit or lie any certain way here. You can lie on your side, lie on your back, lie on your tummy if you want. And the hands can rest wherever they will, wherever they want to go. Whether they're on the tummy, the chest, by the sides, overhead. Just getting as comfortable as possible. That's it. Just going to have a few minutes of basking in that chosen posture. As comfortable as can be. Bringing this session to a nice, long, slow conclusion. It's the same way we began the session. By finding stillness, restorative stillness. Utilizing this beautiful posture that we call corpse pose or resting pose. And this pose is facilitating rest and digest ever so deeply. And you could imagine that any chronic tension that might be lingering could just simply dissolve. Any stress, any tightness, any tissues that are clenched at all, just invited to relax. Could you imagine that As the body relaxes more and more deeply here, a sense of safety is permitted. Sense of safety, an internal safety, permitted to be felt. Safety on a deeper, primal level where the body is feeling really comfortable and relaxed. The simplicity of the body resting here in a supine or prone or side position. Just effortlessly relaxing deeper and deeper. It's not a stagnant situation. It's allowing the body to heal, to restore, to replenish. It's receiving information, absorbing the nutrients of every single preceding posture and exercise that it just allowed itself to go through. You've maybe noticed that there's not much words going on here because this is very, very simple. There isn't a wish to complicate this. When the body lays into this kind of posture and into this kind of exercise, it doesn't need to be told what to do or how to be. It can just rest in its own natural expression. Nothing needed. And perhaps in the same way, as gently as the body seamlessly journeyed into this session, these various exercises, and this final relaxation, you can start to think about gently re-emerging into an apparent world of perception, sensation, emotion, and vibration. You just start to reawaken. Starting to reawaken different parts of the body, little by little, easily moving around perhaps. finding little gestures into the fingers and the toes, hands and feet. That's it. Might have a full body stretch or a yawn, maybe a sigh or something else. Thanks so much for joining my Monday evening Yogini session. Hope you enjoyed this. These sessions happen each week. I have decided to do another two this coming weekend as well, because it was really nice and it was a success on the Alexis and Tobias No Show retreat. So I do the same again, 11 till 12, 11 a.m. till 12 p.m. GMT on the Saturday, British summertime on the Sunday. So that's an important note. Clocks change on Sunday morning in the UK. You can find that info out on the web. Lots of love. Thank you so much. Namaste.